welcome back, you rascals. It's Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Start off this hour with our headlines brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit us at Doral Kia or DoralKia.com. You're not here today, Leroy, so you missed the J-Fig sprint.
Yeah, because I texted her.
Sitting in here just.
I was hungry.
You were hungry? What, do they got any food here?
No, I just brought my little snacks.
Oh, all right. Rats.
I mean, they should have brought some donuts, right? You would think.
That would be a good
start off the year.
First start off the year with a
great.
that would include fixing the elevator.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
At least we're getting our steps in. Man, let's get it. So Barry Jackson just tweeted this out. Per source, the 6 people who will be involved in Zoom interviews with 6 external GM candidates from the Dolphins side will be Stephen Ross, Tom Garfinkel, Troy Aikman, Dan Marino, Brandon Shore, and Stephen Ross's son-in-law, Danny Silman.
Oh, so Mike McDaniel's not involved.
He says Mike McDaniel, in caps, will not participate in the interviews.
Why would he?
They don't want an 8-hour meeting.
No, that's not why.
He did say
because
yesterday,
if the question during all these interviews is gonna be, how do you feel about Mike McDaniel? He can't be on the Zoom call.
You think he gets on there and he goes, GM candidate, first question.
6 minutes long.
He goes, first question. Just curious.
What would Socrates say to that?
They're like, we're sorry. We'll put him on mute. We'll put him on the back. This is what Mike McDaniel had to say yesterday on the GM search and being part of the process.
Mike, how involved will you be in the general manager hiring process and interview process?
I'm going to be a part of the process. And beyond that, I think the main objective and what everyone's counting on is that we have a cohesive crew of people that are working in the same direction. So I'm happy to support all of that. It's not my decision to make, nor would I think that would be an intelligent way to go about business. I think we need to one step at a time improve our football team from the state that it's in, and that will be the first of many processes.
You're the cause of the state that the football team's in. I don't get that.
When my grandmother would hear something like that, she would say, "Bless his heart."
Yeah, because I got to be honest with you. If you're not
very, he has to know.
Yeah.
That the first question that any new GM is going to be asked.
Can I get my guy? Can I hire my guy?
Well, and what makes it tricky is your guy might not no longer be available. And with the cap held that this team is in, would anybody even want the job? Understanding that, look, if this was the Pittsburgh Steelers and they knew they had to go through cap hell and they were getting a new coach, that coach could feel secure in knowing that the way the Pittsburgh Steelers do things, they're going to see it through and he's not going to be, fired after a year because he took the job understanding everything that had to happen.
Sure.
All right? But there's certain organizations that understand all that and are cool with all that beforehand. And then after a year, they say, no, you still didn't do good enough.
Yeah.
And so who wants to be involved in a situation like that when it might not even be questions about Mike McDaniel, it might not even be questions about the players, but it's questions about the circumstances that you're coming in on, and you could be fired after a year because that's kind of how these organizations work.
I think the thing that I have to do though is if you're not on the Zoom call, you're not part of the process. So
The coach is never part of the
-1
process.
for deception.
But the coach is never part of the process, nor should he be when the first decision has to be made by a GM is whether you're going to keep the coach.
and don't say you're part of the process.
Again, and he finished it off by saying, I'm not going to be in the decision making, nor should I.
Then what part of the process are you? You
I
getting coffee?
again. I think that they may ask a long question. Hey, have you heard about this guy? Do you like him? Or whatever. Understanding that he is going to be responsible for deciding whether you keep your job. Now, if I'm Mike McDaniel, I'm thinking this. The longer this goes on, the harder it's going to be to get a new coach. So I might be good.
No, he's the coach next year, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
I think he is. I said that before. I think he is. I was a little shocked by the Tua thing because now I got to tell you, Tua got some he got some work ahead of him.
When you say you're shocked by the two, you saying like Tua is saying that he wants a fresh start?
No. See, when he said that, and knowing the way Tua talks sometimes, and just understand, I think he was saying a new start as far as a new season, not a new.
Oh no, the reporters clarified. They said
they clarified it.
Yeah, they asked, and then he didn't want to talk any further after that.
Well, once you put your foot in your mouth, I mean, you got to remove it and ask why you put your foot in your mouth.
You
know what's crazy about all this?
Mm-hmm.
At no point in time during my career have I ever been asked a question and given an answer and had to clarify what I really meant. Never, because I don't talk like that. I don't like. If you want your words to be accurately received, then speak that way. Like, if you want a whole bunch of follow-up questions, then speak in code.
Words mean words.
So, and the problem is, I don't even think Tua knows what he's doing sometimes. He tries to answer questions, and they're like, yikes, dude, you realize what you just said, right?
He answers questions like he's reading, like he's doing a pass play. If the first read's not there, it's over. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Once he has to start thinking about the answer, it's not good. He's going to start saying things that he's like, nobody asked you for that. Correct. Here's the question I ask. You're interviewing three execs from the San Francisco 49ers, right?
Yep.
And Mike McDaniel was hired as head coach when he was from the San Francisco 49ers. Doesn't that pretty much kind of...
Nope. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. That old brother-in-law thing, when it goes to you keeping your job, you'll fire your brother.
Dude, that was Jeff Ireland. Remember Jeff Ireland and Tony Sparano were like best of friends. Their wives were best of friends. And guess what? Jeff Ireland got on that plane to go get Jim Harbaugh. They weren't friends anymore.
Right.
Okay.
That was a weird press conference.
Look. But then and here's how that conversation would go if they said we don't want Mike McDaniel. I like Mike McDaniel. We've got a lot of history together, but business is business. And that's how they're going to go about it, and everybody's going to move forward. So I would say for the people that think if they hire, somebody from the San Francisco, team, that means that Mike is safe and secure, I would say, no. I've seen more guys that thought they were in because my boy got hired, and no, sir, because he trying to get that job too.
I honestly think the only way he was keeping his job, I disagree with you guys. I think he is going to get fired. I think
but here's the question, Tobin. That late, when you've lost access to speak to all of the most qualified guys, what do you think you're going to end up with?
Well, we've already seen the list. It's not like the most impressive list in the world. Like I think the Dolphins could be left with somebody getting fined, especially if they think that there is something down the pipe of getting somebody of greater stature. Maybe
then why wouldn't you just keep Mike and do that?
Because, well, here's the thing. What if what if somebody in the playoffs gets fired? What if McDermott gets fired? What if Tomlin decides if Tomlin's one and done? Yeah, I'd be pretty crazy to let him go with 10 wins, but you don't know. There seemed to be some weird stuff around there. So I wouldn't just chalk up like, hey, it's over. There's no good candidates. We don't know.
So there's a couple of players out there. Are you saying you would be okay with McDermott?
I would be okay with it. It's not the sexiest name in the world, but I certainly think he's got more. I've been impressed.
Now, you know, times. He's a defensive-minded coach.
Well, I do. And you want to know one of the things that's impressed me?
What?
Is like half the time, anytime the Dolphins play him, half their defense is out. They still shut the Dolphins down.
Right.
Like I get him.
Then there's Harbaugh. Is that a no-brainer?
Harbaugh seems like the most obvious if he's on the market.
Tomlin.
What about Mike?
For sure.
Mike
I mean,
McCarthy?
Tomlin's my A1. I would love to have Mike Tomlin.
McCarthy.
I'd be okay with McCarthy. Like it's not sexy, but he's got credibility. There's not a lot of like holy bleep guys out there. Like I can't believe we're getting this guy.
Most of them are retreads. You see all the guys getting interviews are already failed ones.
The only guy that I don't want who's got a lot of credentials is Bill Belichick. I can't have it with the whole honey around here. It just feels like it's going to be a zoo. If he leaves North Carolina, like I
would say this. You may not like Bill Belichick. You may think his world is a little chaotic.
Yeah.
But a lot of the things that happen in the last couple of years here would not happen with him in the building.
Okay. That's fair.
I also
don't think I ever would have caught him dead at an adult cheerleading contest.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't know. Like, it's in him. I mean, dude, his best friend is John Bon Jovi.
That's not Bon Jovi, dude.
It doesn't matter.
I've been to cheer competitions before.
How about this?
But I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There's a side of him that I think a lot of people don't know because he doesn't reveal it. But yeah,
he's not revealing. We're not gonna know.
Right.
We've revealed that side to be pretty.
How
horny.
about this guy? He fits South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
He's young.
Mm-hmm.
He's a coach. He was a coach in the NFL.
Okay.
I
think Cliff Kingsbury would be a good coach down here in South for the Miami Dolphins.
Here's the problem. You ready?
Automatically, we have a problem.
Here's the problem. He lost me with his desire to have a Garden Gnome as a quarterback.
Okay, fine. Now that he's good,
but I will say this: offensively, I think he is more people put him in higher regard than Mike McDaniel. Mm-hmm. Offensively. So there's that. However,
he knows how to work with a mobile quarterback. You saw what he did with Jaden Daniels.
No, absolutely.
He didn't pick
Murray I don't think
either.
He picked Kyler.
He was
Murray.
hired for Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
I don't think he was like part of the drafting process.
Well, he came in and
but did he have him in college first? I don't remember.
Was Kyler at Texas Tech? I'll check.
No, he was at Oklahoma.
He was at Oklahoma.
He was at Oklahoma. I saw that Kyler Murray was very nice about Jonathan Gannon yesterday. He was like, he gave a very heartfelt goodbye. I think he was wiping his tears with money. But
yeah. Oh no, Cliff had Patrick Mahomes.
He did have Mahomes. That's true. Yeah. But I don't think
it's you know what's weird?
No, Eberflus got fired.
Who?
Matt Eberflus. He got fired as Cowboys.
Oh, Cowboys, yeah, because they were last in everything. No, they were. They really were.
They were already bad, and then they traded Micah Parsons. Like
he was the but does that play a role into this?
Well,
you get rid of your best pass rusher, your best defensive player.
One would think.
You see, that's what I mean. Like, I don't want to be one of those organizations that makes decisions like that and then blames the result not on the choices that you made, but on the decisions that other people made, right? Can we say the drop off in their defense had a lot to do with the Micah Parsons trade?
You think you think at any point that Mike McDaniel reaches out to Dan Marino and he goes, "Hey, I didn't get the link. I didn't get the Zoom link."
No. I mean, the next call he gonna get from the Dolphins is
you're fired.
Bring your playbook. Right?
He goes, "But it's my playbook." Not anymore.
Man, doesn't it seem weird that, or am I a little early? Usually coaches start getting jobs already.
It's pretty early. I mean, they just
because remember when they were hiring coordinators, those guys were getting the head coaching jobs before the playoffs started.
As far as I saw yesterday, I think the only teams that have interviews lined up already are the teams that had the guys that fired everybody already. Yeah, so Tennessee and I think New York.
Tennessee, I think, talked to Raheem Morris.
Morris.
Yeah.
They Vance Joseph.
Anthony Weaver got interviewed.
Anthony Weaver, they asked. Yeah.
The Falcons are interviewing him.
And
but if you hire, here's what's crazy. If you hire Weaver, aren't you in effect hiring the same guy as Raheem Morris?
What do you mean by that?
Defensive guys.
Well, it would be Weaver's first job.
Okay, Morris, but they were defensive minded guys. Like they built who they are through the defense.
What about Stefanski here? Leroy?
I was a big supporter of him.
Little egotistical this year.
No. I just think some of the things that he did this recent year, and I'm not gonna fully excuse Shador, because I do think sometimes before you get on the field, you got to play the part. Like that's just the rules. And everybody, and even like Sproles say that to some extent. You got to show me you're willing to put the work in. You got to show me you're doing the work. Absolutely. And you earn those minutes. Mm-hmm. That's in sport. That's a lot, especially in football when you got to go on the field and 10 other guys have to depend on you, especially at that position. However, when he finally started playing, I think that there was something there that maybe Stefanski should have seen and tried to kind of like get him on the right track instead of just dismissing him.
Right.
Right. And so from that standpoint, I say when your job is to develop all the talent you have on your team to try to become the best team that you can, he kind of lost me a little bit with the fact that they just put Shador on the bench and made him the third quarterback and didn't even do any work with him. It just seems like he just dismissed him. And when you watch him play, it looked like, man, I wonder what he could have been if we had put all that effort into him and tried to get him on the right track. And I always blame a coach for that.
It felt very strange ever since they moved on from Baker. It felt very much like ownership was trying to,
sabotage his job.
Well, that's I mean, like they're trying. It's the thing is like I can't blame them for going to get Deshaun Watson. I mean, maybe without all the baggage, but
listen,
they literally gave every dollar they could to Deshaun Watson, and then that failed miserably.
And that whoever made that decision
still got a job.
Right. Barry.
Andrew Barry did.
I think ownership might have came in and said,
that's what I feel like ownership. It feels like the Haslams like to meddle with the quarterback.
Here's the other thing though. I just think that when that situation didn't work out, the organization didn't really do Kevin Stefanski any favors with how they went about trying to fix it or remedy the situation, because you always had in the back of your mind that whoever we bring in is going to be temporary because Deshaun's going to be back.
Sure.
And so that puts him at a disadvantage. And it's a little bit unfair to him, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about him as a head coach, being that a lot of the success was centered around Chubb and around that defense who's been, just amazing.